Alright, I just got done installing Linux Mint. Now listen. Well, I don't know if you can hear that disk in there in the drive, but anyway, on this computer, my AMD FX 6200 system. Anyway, so I just went through the install process, and look what comes up at the end of it. Installation has finished. You can continue testing Linux Mint now, but until you restart the computer, any changes you make or documents you save will not be preserved. Like they got something called user persistence. Well, anyway, whereas it was not installed on the system whenever I was using it, and I blanked the hard drive, they were actually using this utility right over here that comes on the live DVD. Keep in mind, this is everything that runs right off the live disk, without affecting your computer at all. So you can, you probably not even have a hard drive physically in your computer and just run this off of memory. It wouldn't surprise me. It's not like Microsoft Windows where you don't have the choice to try it. It just straight up requires you to install it to even see what it's going to be about. This is Linux, whereas it's like try before you install. This program here, here's all the. It's a Gparted is a great program, but anyway, you can take all these and you can delete partitions and create partitions and shrink the size. It's actually a really good utility. Now listen to this. Hear that sound? That's the live DVD running. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart now. And actually, I installed this on my computer just a couple minutes ago. But it's going to eject the disk. You can hear it running. And there it goes to the logo. And you're going to see what it does here. The blue light down there is the Blu-ray drive, the external USB 3.0 Blu-ray drive. It's going to probably eject. There it goes. It ejected the disk. And this is the disk that I was running. As soon as I get out of here. Linux Mint 17.1 long-term support with the Cinnamon user interface 64-bit. And it says, I'm going to close the drive. It says, please remove installation media and close the tray, if any, and then press enter. Because some computers are slot loaded, I'm going to just turn this drive off because I won't need it. And keep in mind the DVD drive of my desktop computer is empty. You can stick your hand right through the tray. So we're going to see that this is actually running from the from the hard drive. Hit enter. And my desktop computer here. And there's the HP logo. I did not build this computer. I mean, it's a gaming machine, but it's like a mid-level gaming machine. It costs like $750. I mean, it's got a really, really good processor in it. And it's got a decent amount of memory in it, like a gig, or like 10 gigs of RAM. And 1.5 terabyte hard drive. The only thing that's kind of weak in it is the graphics card. It's a 2 gig graphics, 2 gigs of RAM on the graphics card, but it's DDR3, which is kind of slow now. It's got like 480, stream processors in the graphics card. I mean, it doesn't have a very big cooling fan on it. It only does like 60 watts of TDP. It does 624 gigaflops of GPU compute, single precision. It doesn't do any double precision GPU compute. I mean, it's only like a $50 graphics card. Alright, so here we go. It's installed on the hard drive. That's me, Christian Noggle. I log in, and here's how it is. Using it for the first time on this computer. And then we just put in the password. Your super user, permissions and all that. I mean, you can set it up to where you don't have to log on with a password or whatever each time. There was that option. It's just, yeah, I don't want people messing with my computer and stuff. I got kids running around here. Oh, this tells you right there the audio works automatically. The sound is working on a fresh install of this computer. What we got here? Let's look at what it is first of all. And it just feels smooth. Like it's just system monitor. Like it just runs very responsive. And just very responsive. Resources. Well, on a fresh install, we've done nothing to the system. Just installed it and not changed anything at all. Look at that, using less than 420 megabytes of RAM. And this is on a 6-core processor. And look at that. It doesn't even push the cores above 4% or 5%. Meanwhile, I'm going to bring it up here. What we got here? System info. And yeah, like I said, Linux Mint 17.1 Cinnamon user interface. That's your graphical environment. 64-bit. And I detected my graphics card. AMD ATI Turks Pro Radeon HD 7570. 10 gigs of RAM, but right there, 64-bit. And look at the memory consumption. Yeah, that's less than a half gig of memory consumption. Good luck on that with Microsoft Windows. You know that? And let's bring up the web browser for the first time on this machine, on this fresh install of Linux Mint 17.1, the latest version of it. And we're going to go to YouTube. Did I spell it right? Oh. Nice, I'll put in that address. Okay. Now keep in mind, bring this up again, and look at the transparencies we got automatically. On here. LSPCI, and we're going to pipe it through less, so it shows a page at a time. And you almost never have to touch the command line in Linux Mint or Ubuntu or whatever. I mean, if you touch the command line, it's because you want to. You don't really have to. I mean, this is a fully graphical user interface on this operating system, almost more so than Windows. Some people like to use the command prompt, and some people don't. And you have a complete choice in Linux. And look at this. All this hardware is detected by default. Detected all my, hardware by default. I'm going to close the terminal. We're going to bring up the driver manager here. Super user privileges. Anytime you make changes to the system, you need to make sure you have the right permissions. This is part of how Linux stays so secure. See, that's another thing people don't know. I mean, it's like, here's the differences in Linux and Windows. Like, in Windows, people get their software from God knows where. And that's probably why you have so many problems with it. You can get malware because people can just screw stuff up. Look at this. Driver manager. Yeah, it's all working good. No proprietary drivers are in use. I mean, you can get proprietary drivers for this, and they'll probably work out all right. But just go ahead and show you this. YouTube. Let's see the new Cortex A57 by ARM.
So we're here at the ARM booth, and what are you talking about here?
Well, I'm demonstrating fast models, which are our high-performance simulation models of the ARM IP. In this case, I'm demonstrating the Cortex-A57 model. The Cortex-A57 was a processor we announced earlier this week. It's the first of the ARM v8 cores that we're working on.
So ARM fast models, ARM v8 architecture.
Yeah.
So you hear the sound works automatically, and you see the internet works automatically, the Ethernet. Oh, look at this! Look at this. Here's another thing in Linux. See that little icon down there? It changed from green to blue. Okay, that means you got software updates, and that's all it does to notify you. Okay, we click on it, and your software manager or your update manager shows up. You just refresh it to make sure that here's what it does. And it's a unified way to manage, the updating of software, and it's not intrusive, and you're just going to see how easy it is in Linux Mint. It's not like this trouble you go through in Windows where, you boot up, and like you got 10 programs all screaming at you all at once to be updated. And it just tells you it's going to trigger additional changes. You just go ahead and click OK, put in the password. And we just wait for it. Yeah, downloading packages, installing software. But yeah, and the average, the average Windows user gets their software all over the internet from God knows where. This just tells you what needs to be updated and all that, and you install updates and password. This is all for security reasons. See, anybody can, get software from the repository, like who's running Linux, but not just anybody can put the software in there. So it has to be thoroughly vetted and checked, to make sure it's compatible with your system, make sure it's not going to break anything, like break other software or cause a problem, make sure you don't have any malware or viruses. And look at this, you can just, just take this update manager, you just minimize it, and it just hides there, and you can just go on surfing the web, with Linux Mint. Ubuntu is a lot like this too, and because Linux Mint is actually based on Ubuntu. But yeah, you can just go about and do whatever you want, and if YouTube works automatically, Facebook does. And Update Manager just runs in the background, and this is what it looks like. This is the icon what it looks like when it's updating. When everything's up to date, it just goes to a green check mark, and everything's good. And you'll see that you will not have to restart the system. But yeah, the average Windows user gets their software God knows where, and that's part of why you have the problems. Anybody can just throw software out on the internet for a Windows user, and then there's no real safeguards. Another thing is code correctness is much more important on Linux and Unix systems than it is Microsoft Windows systems, and Mac OS is a variant of Unix. That's, part of why it's so stable. And but yeah, there's just all kind of reasons, and you get your software from the online software repository. It's thoroughly checked to make sure it's compatible with the software in your system, and of course your hardware, and it's they make sure that nobody puts any malware in there, and it's heavily encrypted. But yeah, you see this. Show individual files if you want to see it. Yeah, you just seen the Flash plugin that was being updated. Stretch this out a little bit so you can see. Firefox, that's a web browser. It comes in there by default. Yeah, you see, where is the app armor? There's App Armor there. Well, anyway, it's a security module, that sort of thing, and it's just here's the install. It's applying the changes, and like I said, you just go right back to doing whatever you want. Here's your menu. Everything's grouped by category. You can just go right back to listening to music with Banshee or whatever, or Banshee while you're this here is compatible with like Amazon's like you can buy music from Amazon, and like you go to the Amazon website and download the AMZ file, and you can import it in here, and then it will just automatically download it. It's actually pretty cool, and there's all kind of stuff you can do in here. Internet Archive, and you can get audio. I never really use Banshee much, but it's pretty good. It just tells you it's still running. Yeah, it's still running because I haven't. But anyway, you want to kill a program in Linux? It's so awesome. Like Banshee, it's like the notification said that Banshee was still running. Let's type in PIDOF, process ID of, and then the name of the program, BANSHEE. There it goes. It tells you it's run. There it is, 6427. Or you can just type in top, and it'll show you what all's running. And when you see the program you want to kill popping up, but anyway, just press up to go back to your commands. PID of Banshee. Watch this. In Linux, it's so awesome. Kill. The process ID number of any program, and then it dies. Like it'll open up a web browser, because we don't want to actually kill the download manager that we're working with. So we got the web browser up here, right? And we know it's Firefox, and you can just type in top, and it'll show you what all processes are running, programs or just anything. And you see Firefox just showed up right there, and its process ID number. Well, it's going too fast for me to see through this tablet. Here, PIDOF FIREFOX, and okay, so it's 8437. So you see Firefox is open here. We can interact with it. We can, that sort of thing. And, all right. So you see that. Now we're going to kill Firefox. We're going to close that program. Like if a program just won't die, like if you can't X out of a program, and then you'll have to do this, kill. The process ID number of the program you want to kill. 8437. Now watch Firefox right there, the web browser disappear whenever I hit enter. And it did. Just type in EXIT if you want to exit the terminal. And it's still installing software. It says AMD 64. Yeah, I got an AMD processor in here, 64-bit. And you go to your computer and you can just browse your your devices or drives. But usually I go in the home folder here. It's got all your stuff on there, and there's nothing on this computer right here because it's a fresh install. And your programs are grouped. You can do all kinds of stuff in here. It's actually pretty cool. Firefox again. See if John trying to put on any more videos. Daddy did. Because I'm kind of bored while that software installer is like just running in the background. Just minimize it there. Do whatever we feel like. Oh, how about this? Let's add manage search. Yeah, add YouTube to video search. Yeah, well, there we go. Look how easy that was in Firefox. The latest version of everything. So we search for what we want to search for. JOONTRON. He makes cool videos, and they're pretty funny also. It's how easy this stuff is in Linux. You don't got to deal with any bull crap like you do, or annoying headaches like you got to do in Windows. Plug and play consoles. That one was kind of funny, especially toward the end. Now, YouTube works automatically by default in a fresh install of Linux Mint.
Black Friday approaches, and that means one thing. Grandma's out getting trampled just to get you the same old gift. Crappy video games. Oh, you got me Monopoly this year for the Nintendo 64? Well, this would have been great back in 1864. You know, when it was impressive just to not die from being 35. We all got games like this. You know the ones. Bottom of the bin. And literally bottom of the bin at the grocery store. But in this category, one genre reigns supreme. The plug-and-play games. You know, one of these. Why buy your loved ones a $50 SpongeBob game for their Wii in which you have to, put the disc in, then figure out which cords plug in from the box machine into the TV, and then you gotta maybe switch it on, and who knows what else from there. When for $20, you can get them the magical device that plugs right into their TV, already has the game inside of it, and is also a toy of SpongeBob's face. That's like what? It's like 18 toys in one. Now, plug-and-play games have been around for decades, but their true rise to popularity began in the early 2000s, led by a company called Jack's Pacific. Remember, this was before downloadable content and virtual console re-releases were widespread. The most you'd see were those GBA ports of NES games.
Let's close that. Oh yeah, we got the hot corner in this. No, the update manager's still running. Let's do some stuff here. Preferences, desktop. Okay, we're gonna have the trash. We're gonna add the network. This is all cool. Here we go to all our settings. We go to effects. Enable desktop effects. We're gonna add that. Alright, where's hot corner at? Workspaces. Cycling thing. Alright, now where was it? It used to be called hot corner. Here we go, hot corner. And there we go. Yeah, I just enabled it. Hover and yeah. And okay, Linux kernel for development. We're gonna refresh this. And we're gonna get these security updates too. Put in the password. And you always want the newest kernel you can get because that's kind of the core of your operating system. Let me get this all set up. And there we are. We're all up to date. and notice that. That right there, that little, well, that's my monitor. This little menu comes from my monitor itself. Close that menu. No, close the menu. All right, there we go. A little icon there. It turns green with a check mark whenever you're up to date. And it's all fine. And whenever it turns to like a little blue circle inside like we saw earlier there, then it lets you know you got updates and it's non-intrusive. And look, oh, what did you notice? We did not have to do it. We did not have to restart the computer. Wow. Imagine that. You know, that's how it is in yeah, Linux, Linux Mint themes. You can get themes here. You can window borders and desktop. You can do all kind of customization. I'll let you play with a lot of that. Hot corners. Oh, Windows, yeah, and show workspaces. All right. Alright. So there's our hardcore. Oh, that's what I was looking for. Yeah. You got several workspaces, so it's like you can open up, your web browser here on this workspace, and then hover over to this one and go run image editor program, which GIMP is a lot like Adobe Photoshop. It's not exactly the same thing, but really close. You see they're running multiple workspaces, and you can add more, and just, you can add more, and just, this has been a feature in Linux I remember it back in 2000, in the year 2000, and just, it's so, look at this, how cool it is, and you can just throw that away, that program, and throw that program away. I mean, it doesn't uninstall it, but it just closes it. There's all kind of cool stuff you can do in Linux. I'm going to end this video. I'm almost out of space on my tablet.